fishing Sunday?
I am. Let's go.
Let's go.
I am.
I'm in.
What week? Can you put that cat down?
Yeah. The cat's in.
I was trying to be a Bond villain. I apologize.
Yeah. It's warm by this fire, Buck.
We're not even in the fire. We need to jump in the current.
We got to cool off in the current.
I just want everyone to know, I mean, we say it all the time. You have 7 best friends when you tune into us every week.
And it's wild because we used to say that, but now it's so real.
And it was just a real existential morning, guys.
God, existential.
Did you short drift them?
Well,
That's a yes.
That's what the Canadians say.
no bueno.
No bueno.
If there is a traditional Canadian saying, no bueno.
And we are back. This is the Rutten River Pursuits podcast. And we are in the current. My name is Brian, and we have a few gentlemen sitting around the table with me tonight. Who's to my left? Let's go around and find out who it is.
This gentleman would be Bucky.
I'm Will.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
This is Dave.
All right. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. How y'all doing?
Good, buddy. Good.
All right. Good.
Doing
Good.
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 I'll tell you about this month's sponsor. At Element Outdoors, good camo doesn't have to be expensive, and affordable outdoor gear doesn't have to be poorly made.
Oh, yeah.
Element Outdoors is technical clothing built by and for the working man. Find your addiction. These guys are running an exclusive special for the entire month of May.
Get out.
Where you can receive 20% off your order.
What?
When you enter RRP20. Yep, that's RRP20.
RRP20?
RRP20
Love
is
it.
exactly it when you check out. Just go to elementoutdoors.com today.
This is Reality Outdoor Radio, where our mission is to get you in the outdoors by connecting you to the people, skills, and products that you can trust.
You can trust them.
You bet you can.
Trust it.
How you doing, guys?
Good, buddy. You know, turkey mayhem. It's winding down.
Yep.
And
It's in
It's wound down.
It's in its twilight.
I'm still birdless.
Yeah.
I got to fix that.
Is that on purpose?
I got just a couple days left. Well, it's on purpose only because I haven't been out.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, twice, 2 times. That's
Yeah.
it. So shame on me,
Yeah.
of course. But I
I've
got
just
a
been
week.
passing up a lot of birds this season, you know?
My
You
goal.
letting them walk,
Jake's.
Yeah.
growing another year.
Yeah.
My goal was to use the second half of PA's spring season where they open up the afternoons.
Right on.
And use that to my advantage. And between weather and kids' sporting events, of course, figures this year my daughter's softball team would make it into like district playoffs and stuff. So I got a week left. And that week includes one holiday, which means I've got the day off. I can hunt
There you
sun
go.
up to sundown. I'm going to try to get it done. I still got some time. I'm going to try.
You can do it, bud.
That's all we ask. Just try.
I got one of those fancy new Sidewinder blinds from Huntworks Outdoors too. So I'm gonna try to.
wow.
I'm gonna try to put that thing to good
One
use.
of the prototypes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Our boy sent us some of those from down south. I'm gonna try to put it to good use and see
It's
if I
like,
can.
gobble, gobble, y'all.
Gleek, gleek.
It's glue, glue, but not that far south.
That's Spanish.
Like the mackerel.
How do you tell them apart? I got some feedback on that from last week.
I bet.
Yeah, some folks enjoyed that. Others not so much, maybe. But
Did you get PC'd on that?
no.
Okay.
Everybody was having fun with it. I believe. Mr. Derek Keller loved that one.
Did it?
Oh, yeah.
Daddy.
Little shout out to
DK.
the other DK.
The other
in our
Muskie
life.
chaser.
Yeah. I called him DK this week too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, point is, there are some turkeys that still might be having a little meeting with me coming up.
Yeah, but if they were quiet last week, Ryan.
I've heard that from a lot of folks all across the East Coast. Really, it's just that the birds have not been talkative.
What are your birds doing down south in Maryland there?
I've been seeing a few, but it's the same down there. I haven't been hearing anything.
Yeah.
There's a small field to my on the road that I go to work at, and I've been seeing a couple strutters out there. But in the morning when I take the dogs out, haven't heard a bird in the last couple weeks. And actually today was our last day in Maryland, so it officially closed there. So if I want to get out, I got to come up north.
Well, come on up. We got some spots, and we got about a week or so left.
He's not interested in turkeys anymore.
He's
all
moved
about
on.
the
Smallies.
Yeah.
He's bronze backing it.
Bronze backing it.
Well, that's actually an interesting segue because, of course, we will be moving forward from Turkey Mayhem into something that's pretty. Is it Bass-Tastic? Is that the way
I think it's
going to
be Bass-Tastic.
Don't be bashful about it, guys.
June's going to be Bass-Tastic, so
My bass tank's pretty low, so I'm topping off with some Vaseline.
We'll be kicking bass left and right. Mm-hmm. Kicking bass and taking names.
Chewing bubble gum. I'm all out of bubble gum.
So yeah, you did start the tournament, didn't you, Brian?
Yeah, I was able to get out last week and do some smallmouth fishing on the local creek, Conagajig Creek near my house, and caught a few fish. Brought a few into the boat.
Yeah.
What's a few? I mean, you just
a few?
Don't slow roll it like Bucky.
Yeah.
5.
That's my
to
gig,
make it
bud.
exact.
Yeah,
I caught
Bucky.
5. Yeah, 5
caught
fish.
some fish.
Yeah. And in our tournament, we have a no dinks rule where everything that has to be.
Sorry.
Bunch of elitists.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the format of our tournament. 14
You
inch
might want to
minimum.
find another tournament.
Yeah, it's a 14-inch minimum. So I had 2 scoreable fish out of the 5 that I caught. My biggest is 15 and a half inches.
Now you're showing off.
So actually, the gentleman that I fished with, our good friend and a listener, Matt, he caught a 19-inch
Attaboy, Matt.
Yeah. I was facing upstream, and he had his power pull down on his kayak facing downstream, and I saw him set the hook on this fish and saw it jump out of the water, and I screamed, "Get that thing in the boat, because it is a hog."
And when he measured it and told you how much it...
Matt was like, I wasn't going to until you said that.
Yeah,
I
I
had
wasn't,
no intention.
wasn't even going to try that.
Thanks.
Think about it.
Breon.
I hope it would have fell
She's
off.
got to do a quick release in the
So
water.
you got word of the size of this fish, and I'm guessing you probably rolled up, you had your fins braid on, and you decided it's time to start punching mats. Is that what you decided to do?
Did you punch mats?
There's not any mats in the creek that I fish in.
There was
Not
that
yet.
day.
There was one that just hauled in a 19-some inch.
Yeah.
Fish.
Well, there you go.
You
Yeah.
gotta be quicker, bud.
Yeah.
You see what he did there, Brian?
And actually, he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me how long the fish was. I said, "How big was he?" He said, "He was a keeper."
Big enough.
Yeah, big enough. And so 10, 15 minutes down the float, I had to pull up the app where he downloaded the size of the fish.
Yeah.
And that's how I found out,
So he
how
slow
long he
rolled
was.
you on the river.
He was,
Nice.
yeah. Even though he's a good friend, we're still a little competitive against each other. So we keep count on who catches how many
It
fish
really
and what
didn't.
size.
It didn't matter. He's not above you in the standings, is he?
No, he's not.
Yeah,
he's
caught
not.
a nice fish.
He
That's
did.
it. Not
He's-
a couple nice fish. Though.
Yeah, he's one place behind, but there
Ooh,
still
keeping
is
it close.
Yeah, there still is a weekend left to go until the month of June. So this weekend, I'm sure there's going to be some people out trying to put some more inches on the board. And my goal starting out this season was to be in the top 5 in every month that I enter. And currently, right now, I'm 5. So I'm going to be holding steady.
I thought you were 3. What was that?
I
other
got
one?
bumped.
Is that a different one?
I got bumped. I got bumped. There's a couple guys south in Virginia. I know one gentleman frequents the Shenandoah River. He lives in Front Royal. He's a powerhouse. There's 2 guys there that every month foot up some hefty numbers.
Why don't you go down there then?
That's the plan. Yeah, we already Matt and I went down last month and stopped at a few places, got a few maps, looked at a few takeouts and put-ins, and so we're going to be heading down there to try to.
I wouldn't wait
put some
too.
big
I
and
just
small
think the temperatures are a little bit
Yeah.
warmer there. I think they got
You
Yeah.
going to do any of those Chinese takeouts?
Chinese takeouts, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chickadee
like some
China.
General So's.
I like the sesame chicken myself.
The Hunan chicken.
The Hunans, is that good?
Oh, that's delicious.
Yeah. So, but again, the water is been high and murky, and I can't tell you the last time I've been able to see the bottom of the creek that we've been fishing.
Are you? Are you able to say what lures you're generally using? Or are you trying to be super competitive?
No. I mean, if you can catch them on what we're throwing, then good on you. Being that
I used your favorite lure one time, and the only thing I caught was a birch tree.
Birch tree. Well, you hooked something. You hooked something, so that's good.
Can't say you were skunked.
Yeah.
What lure was that, Will?
It was a crankbait of some sorts, probably yellow.
Yeah, it was
I'll bet it was chartreuse.
It might have been chartreuse.
That's
or
why
yellow.
you're
One of the
using
two.
the yellow one, not a chartreuse one, bud.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, they the crankbaits are still productive. Chatterbait, something that makes some vibration and some noise there, being that the water's still stained. But hopefully the summer will start to turn around and we'll get some clear water and get some more fish in the boat for the next 3 or 4 months of the tournament series.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Baki, how's your tournaments going? All your fish guessing weights and
I
slowed down this week?
I stayed out of the last one by choice, even though I did ask if I could have gotten into the last one. And Stevie said sure, but I wanted to give somebody else the honor of.
That was awful nice of you, buddy.
But I'm in on it.
What
the
a-
next one.
A gentleman.
Well, thank you, and a scholar.
I would say so.
But speaking of competitions, though, Will, I did call Stevie while he was on vacation on his first day, I believe.
What'd you call him?
I called him Stevie.
Oh.
And I said, Stevie.
Makes sense.
That was polite.
Mr. Miser.
But
Steven?
I'm trying to get a partner for the Quest Hunt Co. competition this fall. And I thought it would only be fitting if the two poorest hunters, I mean, poor not in financial,
Like financially?
I mean, in skill-wise and history and, experience.
Gotcha.
That we team up.
It's the rookies.
The rookies, if you will. But to really add a twist on it, I want Stevie and I to really work hard to get the smallest deer possible.
Really?
So, and our team name would be Team Hunt for the Juvenile Deer.
I guess
it's
legal.
Legal.
Yeah.
3-pointers. We're looking for 3-pointers.
Sure.
So like with spots?
Well, I would think it'd only be fitting if Phil and Stevie had 2 3-pointers.
I see where you're going. I would just, I would kind of, first of all, get in the woods. And then number 2, you got to, kind of let fate and what you know how to do that.
I figure if we set our bar low.
It's already low. You don't need to do that.
You can only go up.
Yeah. Anyway, I see what you're doing there. But
I could see you guys.
What's he doing? Is he
taking
thinking
the
about it? Or you
competition.
still need a partner? Or what?
As of now, I still need a partner. I think by next week, I'm going to open it up to somebody who wants to be my partner. I'll give Stevie the courtesy of next week.
Oh yeah, he's on vacation, so you got to
And then
give
he's
him
on
a chance.
vacation again. He's like Forrest Gump's dad.
Yeah.
On vacation.
I hope he's fishing. I wouldn't even know, though, because I haven't seen anything out of Stevie.
Yeah, hopefully we see some posts, some pictures.
He's probably too busy reeling them in.
Yeah.
He's a busy boy.
Yeah.
We do have, speaking of Quest Hunt Co., though, we've got, two teams already?
Yeah, we have 2 teams
that are in, so look out.
I mean,
Look out.
It's on. And again, we're only competing with the state of Pennsylvania, so that's cool for us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
the
it's
way that
anybody's game, as they say.
The way that this, tournament is set up, the contest itself, they've got some outrageous prizes.
Yeah.
For the winners, but like Will just said, you're only competing against other hunters in your state.
Awesome. So, there's also awesome giveaways each month.
Every month.
Yeah.
There's some binoculars from Vortex this month. it's something every month that you can win just by being in the competition.
Sure. And I was looking at the entry fee. I'm getting that back with the first purchase I make with the discount codes I get for being part of the group.
Pretty much.
For entering into the competition, you're going to get these promo codes for these.
The buying group that they have.
Right.
Yeah.
But for products you're going to probably buy anyway.
No brainer.
And literally one purchase that I'm planning to make for some Badlands gear.
Yeah.
I made my money back.
Yeah. I need a new tree stand. Bam.
Boom. Done. Muddy.
Yep.
Muddy's got an amazing selection of stands.
I was looking at the...
You're looking at the Hawks?
The climbing.
I'm looking at the Hawks, the climbers.
Yeah, the new one that didn't even have a price tag on yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you have a discount on
you have a discount code.
Yeah, I got a discount code.
If you have to ask, you can't afford it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. What I need to upgrade the Summit.
Yeah. What do you have now?
The Summit Viper.
Oh, you don't like it?
I think this new Hawk is like a couple pounds lighter.
Gotcha.
Seems a little bit sleeker also.
If
Like,
he's-
so if your backpack...
He's on my team, and we need to score good, so he's going to need a lighter stand.
You do
so
the
we can get
score
in
good,
a little
okay?
bit deeper.
Just score good.
You need to score good.
No, I mean, I've been very happy with the Summit. It's
Yeah.
a good stand. Summit Viper, very comfortable.
Right. No, but
it's my second one. I
but
loved
it's
it.
funny how, everybody wants to upgrade something every year. It's not like we're, none of us are settled on our equipment. And so they actually have just a whack of products that we all use. And, it's definitely worth a look. So that's cool. So Bucky needs a partner. We might even have to open that up to the listeners if Stevie holds out too long. Breon, you need a partner, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I need a partner, so maybe Bucky and I will give Steve a chance, and
If not, I'll have to step my game up if I'm going to.
I can't guarantee that I'm gonna harvest the smallest deer though.
No, not I would. that whole concept.
Oh, it changes the whole dynamic for
Can
him.
only be with Stevie though.
Okay.
With the then the game on. If I get somebody else, I'll do you.
I could
justice.
see Brian in the stand, filming his hunt and stuff. Here comes a 160. But I don't want to let Bucky down. I'm going to let it walk. Where's your little brother?
Where's that spike with the Y's? Is there a kicker on that Y buck?
Can't tell.
He needs to twitch his ear so I can see if that kicker's there.
Oh, here's a little 4-point with a drop time.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
He button hooked me.
That fourth point must have been hiding.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Like, I mean, I'm not one to shoot monster bucks. I mean,
No.
but it's still fun. Yeah, and the nice part is you're competing against Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't
that's-
have to go up against the
Iowa
dudes in
or
Iowa that are hunting
Illinois,
on some of
wherever.
these.
It's one more reason why we can rip on each other.
Yeah.
Even more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think that's hilarious.
I mean, I'm gonna try to score some does. I mean, right? Like we got. It doesn't work, but the tape measure's real short for that one.
Yeah.
You measuring doe skulls like a bear.
Yeah.
Like a bear, yeah.
Right.
Nobody would ever enter into a big buck contest at one of the local bow shops if they knew that they were going up against guys in Iowa and Illinois.
Right.
But you go into those contests in those local shops because you're only competing against guys in the local area. That's what this is. Only instead of bragging rights and maybe a discount on your next purchase of a
You can win
bow
a
from that
four-wheeler.
shop. Yeah, there are so
Or side by side, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah, they have a bunch.
Tree stands,
like
coolers,
the big muddy.
stuff's for real.
like 3.5 person ones.
Yeah, the big housing.
Yeah.
Looks like small housing development.
I love the idea of Ozonics, but I never thought I would buy one.
Mm-hmm.
But now I got a discount code. I may well be buying one
yeah.
of those too.
That's cool.
Anyway, sorry. I digress. I'm all kinds of
Deke, what do you
into
got
the
going
whitetail
on this
thing.
week?
I'm packing for my annual canoe trip with high school buddies, so getting ready for that.
You got any special facial hair changes?
Probably shave into a mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. for the weekend.
You know, I've been saying this for a while. We need a dude
do
with a
need a
mustache.
guy.
I
with a
might
mustache.
keep it
I would keep
for
it.
a hot second for like a week.
Throw the
Right, keep-
handlebars on it
The
too,
deek
bud,
stash.
would you?
We'll try. We'll
Drop
see.
'em
We'll
down.
see what happens when the
Hashtag Deke Stash.
when the trimming starts. We'll see what happens.
Could you go live with that?
No.
Yes.
No, not at all.
Yes.
Not at all.
Breon, could you film that?
Absolutely.
Come on up, Brian.
Absolutely.
But I was
Two
making
camera
some
angles.
I was making candles and
So you're like, no way, I'm not filming me shaving. Let's talk about candles now.
no, but I was getting ready for the trip.
Some
by
hard
making,
hitting candle talk.
some fire starters and candles.
I gotta
gotcha.
admit, the
Yeah.
fire starters that you made look pretty sweet.
I do agree. That is.
They work really well.
They look like they're already burnt.
They're not.
Oh.
But so the fire starters are pretty simple. You just use the cardboard egg cartons, dryer lint, and then I pour venison tallow over top of that. If you don't have venison tallow, you can use a form of wax. And the idea behind that is that it makes it burn hotter and longer.
Gotcha.
If you just use the lint and like a cardboard substitute, it's a great fire starter also, but it burns pretty quick. So you don't get that heat to transfer over and really start to fire.
It depends.
Mrs. Nubby actually messaged me and said that she uses the lint with
Nubby from 717.
yes, Mrs. Nubby of Nubby from 717. She messaged me and said, "Oh yeah, we do that too. They just don't use the wax, but the wax helps prolong
Sure.
and it all works either way.
The difference between the two is going to be what way are you using to combust it, right? So if you've got a lighter
Yeah.
and you want to start a campfire, what you've got with the deer tallow and stuff is like it's epic.
Yeah, one
Because it'll
match,
take a
it's-
flame.
It's gone.
It'll take a flame quick
Yeah.
and it'll burn long and it'll burn hot. What you can't do with those is take some flint and steel and strike a spark.
Right.
It's not going to take.
Yeah. So if you use
That's
the
where you want
lint-
just the dryer
just the
lint
dryer
because you
lint,
got to
yeah.
make yourself a nice little bird's nest, and you want it something to take a spark, make an ember that you can blow to flame.
right.
You want my
So-
dryer lint?
Thank you,
No,
Dan
I'm good.
Wolak. Appreciate
I think we
that.
have. We
Dan would love
We produce
yeah,
some
to
dryer
hear
lint at
that.
the
Need
house.
some mad dryer lints.
Yeah.
DK, are they waterproof?
I don't
Are
know.
they-
I hope not, or I hope so. I mean, I hope I don't. No. Here's the thing. I hope I don't test them
Okay.
being waterproof. That's the key of that whole canoe
Okay.
trip.
Right.
Is not flipping.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's
but yeah,
not
so
fun.
getting some things lined up, seeing what other supplies I need, getting the dry bags out, and getting gear together because we'll be on the water for 4 days, floating the West Branch of Susquehanna. So,
Cool.
Will you be doing any
It's
fishing?
a beautiful stretch.
a little bit.
You gonna drag some lures?
Once in a while we do that. You do see people fishing there, but that area can be hit with acid mine drainage pretty hard.
Okay.
So you
What's an acid mine drain?
acid mine drainage is when you have it's
you just take some Tylenol, you'll be
Yeah.
fine.
I had one of those after a Grateful Dead concert.
this happens in the coal area where
Gotcha.
coal mining happens. You get a lot of iron deposits that get leached into the water, so your water quality isn't the greatest.
Okay.
In Pennsylvania, we're pretty fortunate though because we have a lot of limestone streams.
It filters it.
Yeah.
So the limestone reacts with the acid, and it kind of equals out. We still have a normal pH for our water, but some of the spots that we float through, you will see the iron ore deposits.
It's orange.
Yes, exactly.
Right. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And that can be some signs of the acid mine drainage problem.
Almost chartreuse in color
Almost.
or yellow.
But that whole area is like coal country. And a lot of that, the mines have been reclaimed for awesome elk habitat actually, and just wildlife habitat. They
Yeah, that area of the state, the reclamation that
they
they've done has
capped
been
them,
amazing.
and
Yep.
we're like I don't know what they exactly did, but they brought them back to living habitat instead of just open pit mines.
Sure.
So
Will,
Yeah, buddy.
what's up? What'd you do last week? Did you do
You
anything
guys
at all?
aren't ready for what I did.
Oh, well, I'm gonna Get ready. Give me 5 seconds and I'll be ready.
I've been ready since it's started to go down.
So we alluded to the fact that we were going on an epic journey, and we thought it was going to be epic, and
It had the
potential
to become epic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then it became kinetic at this point. Like it
Wow.
this
I
thing,
can't wait.
The
It's gonna take me-
synergy of all of you guys just.
It got epic. So literally what I'm going to do is kick it back to Ryan because Ryan was there and he went up before I did. So we ended up going to New York to Sodus Bay.
Yes, we did.
Tell us
And
about it, Ryan.
For the listeners who picked up on last week's current, they heard me saying that I'd be leaving within a couple of hours, and it held true. We ended the show last week. I said bye to everybody, jumped in the truck, got home, made sure everything was packed up, looking good. Within an hour and a half,
Heading north.
Did you try to sleep at all?
are you awake?
Or did you
I think I got about 45 minutes.
snooze?
Yeah, I basically took a nap.
What time did you lay down for your nap?
It was about 11:30,
Okay.
and I was being picked up about 12:30.
Okay.
So, Catfish rolled up with the boat, the river cooter in tow, and it was on.
Head north.
We hit the road and we headed north. We made a quick stop, fueled up, snacked up, ready to roll. And he looked at me and he's like, I know you've been awake for a while. Why don't you go ahead and nap? And I was like, I'm good. Let's do this. Yeah. And I stayed awake and we chatted the whole time. He's reliving the stories he's been hearing us talk about on the podcast. He's telling me all the stuff him and Lacey have been doing, fishing and turkey hunting. I basically drove to Sodus Point for 5.5 hours and I listened to my own private Catfish current. It was pretty epic. It was pretty epic. But yeah, we had a great conversation. So what we decided to do, maybe you could count a 45-minute nap, but what we decided to do was roll into Sodus Bay, not Sodus Point, but right at the bay, 5:30 a.m. You know, the bait shop doesn't open till 6, but we got there and it was
nailed it for timing, right?
Yeah, the timing was perfect. We hit a little bit of a rainstorm in and around Geneva, and if anybody's familiar with the Finger Lakes area of New York, we pretty much straight north.
That's where they had the convention.
From Switzerland? Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming. Sorry. I was being way too literal. Yes, we took the long way.
Yeah.
We visited the convention.
They needed chocolate.
So Geneva, New York is the top end of Seneca Lake, part of the Finger Lakes of New York. We hit a little bit of a rainstorm coming through there. After that, bluebird skies. Oh. It was beautiful. We hit Sodus Bay 5:30 in the morning, and we just, we pulled up to the boat ramp, unstrapped the boat, loaded the boat up, rods, tackle boxes, everything's ready to go.
That process doesn't take long at all.
It really doesn't.
He has it down to a science. And I'm not saying my guy's better than your guy and blah, 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 blah. But, I witnessed it a whack of times. And it was on and off. And, it was just science. Yeah. It was like I never, he was so fired up. Catfish was in his element.
Oh, he was.
He was barely talking. Like he was just focused. In the zone. Yeah. And if you know Catfish, he loves to tell a good story and this and that. He was fishing. Mm-hmm. He was in his happy
Did you guys
place.
have to do anything?
Almost nothing.
Oh.
Yeah. When we launched Friday morning, we had an idea where we could go, because this is the same bay that we hit with DK on the boat last year after our epic trip in Lake Ontario with Captain Jimmy Del Rio. And, we had a great time. But then the next day on the way home, we were like, oh, look, here's a boat launch. Let's try it out. We had
Which was supposed to be a quick trip in like 5 hours later with no supplies because we had nothing to drink or snacks.
We didn't know what we were going to get into, and it ended up being absolutely phenomenal. So we had an idea where we could go.
Right.
We avoided that spot.
Because it was like your back
intentionally.
pocket.
Right. We're like, let's go explore a new area.
Yeah. Right.
Will's coming up the next day. We're going to be fishing hard. Let's go do some, pre-tournament fishing.
Right.
So we got to find some new spots. And we had Derek Keller was reaching out to us, giving us suggestions for, trolling here, try this, water temperature, here's your speed, giving us all kinds of ideas for trolling because, as we pointed out from our experience last year, there are some toothy critters up in this place. There is some northern pike.
Up in here.
There's some northern pike rolling through there. But we got a map, and we laid out a plan, and we started pitching docks by 6 a.m.
There's no shortage of docks.
No, there is not.
Bay.
And I will tell you this. I'm just going to put it this way. Sodus Bay did not disappoint.
No.
When it came to pitching docks for bass. I'm just going to throw it out there right now. On Friday, I outfished catfish.
Whoa. Uh-oh.
It is it is something to behold.
That's
when that
your
happens.
side of the story.
True. And when I had a witness there the following day, my performance was much more lackluster. Right?
Mm-hmm. Catfish got stupid the next day. Like he
was mad because I outfished him the day before.
I'm sure because like he would like he got to the point where it was like big fish after big fish, and he's just like, here, reel this in. Like he's tired.
I'm tired.
I'm sick of reeling big fish.
That was literally a situation that happened. So yeah, I don't want to slow roll Friday, but we actually all we caught were bass, and we caught everything from, dinks. There was a whole stretch of docks that we ended up calling it the nursery because it was fish after fish after fish, but they were all small.
Yeah.
Then as we moved further into this little inlet and we got close to this bridge, we maybe got into the middle school area. They were getting just a little bit bigger.
You were happy there.
I was perfectly happy. Yeah. I'll troll middle school all day. I'll do it.
Like 5th, 6th grade?
I mean, you don't have to put a number on it.
Okay.
My point is, we were catching fish, and here's something I'm going to tell you about. I don't know if it's New York bass or if it's just a Sodus Bay thing. Hey,
you got bunker?
We didn't run into any bunker, but those bass, while they aren't as long as some of the bass we've caught down here, they are so fat, so healthy, and they fight.
Like I would use the word stout.
They're stout.
They were just like a
bunch of wills.
Like me.
A fullback.
Yeah.
Just like solid fish.
100%.
Definitely.
Yep. No question about it. Big, gigantic mouths. You can put your, man-sized fist in their mouth. There's just, it doesn't matter what size. And we were catching, I'm not on the regular, but we were catching
4+,
threes and, 3s to 5s, pretty regular when we weren't catching pike.
Yeah.
And it was just, we don't get that around here. We don't get that kind of action. Mm-mm. And, so you forget from year to year. So, like it turned me on again. It really did get me going. And, so having that kind of interaction, that kind of those fish don't look like our fish. They don't act like our bass, our largemouth bass.
And
then
if
having
I remember
the
correctly,
opportunity
they
for pike.
fought harder too.
Yeah,
everyone felt like a monster coming in. And
that's cool. That's a cool aspect of it too.
Yeah, the bite was also a little different. The bite was not aggressive at all. The bites were soft and slow, but man, when you set the hook, they did not want to come visit. They did not want to come hang out with you.
And unlike last year, I wasn't there, but I heard the story about 35 times. Is we had one bite off.
Well, we were a little more prepared for that this year.
No, but I wasn't. I mean, I was running straight line and straight braid, and I know what you mean. But like, we didn't have like near. You guys got bit off a handful of times before you.
We definitely did. Now,
well, Ryan did.
I did. everything I was using when I was throwing for pike last year, everything I was using, because I didn't have big baits.
Oh, gotcha.
I was using short baits. So when they hit the head on those, they're 3-4 inches up the line, and I'm using. I think last year all I had was mono. So it's just boom.
Well, you went the opposite end then. He was doing the biggest baits.
I had huge baits this year, and everything that I thought, there's a chance a pike might like this.
A pike
20-inch leader, steel leader. Let's go. Here we go. I didn't mess around. Hey, ask me how many times I got bit off this year. Go ahead.
How many times you get bit off this year?
0.
Really?
One less than one.
One less than one.
Exactly.
Well, do you think that was due to your leader?
Yes.
No, I think it was the softball-sized Weston lure that you were using.
So here's how this went down. On Friday, all we caught were bass, and that's really all we targeted, right? Not that we intentionally last year targeted the pike, but when we saw them, I remember like everybody's diving back into the tackle boxes looking for bigger stuff.
Yeah, we caught that one on like a bass setup, and then we're like, pike?
Yeah. And so we changed it up completely. Yeah. On Friday, we literally were bass fishing.
What were the bass hitting on?
Yeah.
When were you pitching?
Anything green.
Really?
It didn't matter. It didn't matter the shape, the size, the presentation, nothing. If it was green, they were hitting it. I caught fish on tubes, worms, paddle tails, anything green. Yeah. If it was green, it hit the water, something's going to bite it. Mm-hmm. It was an epic day on Friday.
Sweet, man.
Saturday.
That's awesome. Then moving into Saturday, I'm still like on this like super powerful bass buzz. I'm throwing exactly the same way I was the day before. I'm catching these bass, or I'm trying to catch these bass off the docks. But this time we start in this cove that we found the year prior. And that's where we decided Will needs to be introduced to the bay in this cove the same way we were.
Sure do appreciate
Hello,
that.
Bay. This is Will.
I'm Will.
And we started off exactly the same way as even the day before. I mean, we're catching wonderful.
You hooked up
bass
first, or did Catfish?
Catfish did.
Catfish hooked up first, then you did. Yeah. It took me a little bit. I didn't. It wasn't like right out of the gate for me. I don't know. I don't know why.
And these were bass you guys were catching?
At the beginning.
At the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're all there. They're all like anything goes at that. They're all in that cove where we are.
So we get over closer to the green dock.
Yeah.
And the green dock is where it all started the year before.
Right. There's a rock pile
where the first
off
bite
the,
off
green
happened.
dock.
Yeah. So we're over there, and I believe the very first northern pike that was caught, Catfish was casting off the front of the boat, and he's on. No, that's not nothing.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's something. No, that's all right. No. Oh my Lord!
No, yeah, I remember this.
He slow rolled this first pike.
He's like, "No, here it is. No, that's nothing. Oh, it's just a little one." Until it got to the boat, it was the biggest fish we caught all day. But the way he said it was hilarious.
Yeah, he did slow roll that, and much like the year before, as soon as I saw the pike, I was like, you know what, I can catch bass at home. Let's actually do this. And I decided to channel my inner Aunt Glasgow.
Right.
Because I reach for my tackle box and I flip it open.
Your tickle box.
I reach for my tickle box and I flip it open. And I'm like, so what am I going to throw to try to catch a pike? And as I flip the lid back, there I see on the bottom of, it looks like a rattle trap. It's a lipless crankbait. But it isn't a lipless crankbait because you tie on right at the nose of this thing. It's just a big glide bait. And right at the bottom of it, I see the label says Weston. Right. I'll catch me a pike on a Weston.
Yeah.
And I tied this thing on. And I even said to you guys, I'm going to channel my inner Aunt Glasgow and tie on this giant Weston lure that has no reason being thrown.
It's as big as a pop can.
Yeah.
What color is it? Green?
I don't know.
It was green. Yeah, it looked like a little
like a pumpkin
sunfish.
seed sunfish.
Yeah. And it literally, all you do is slow reel and it just glides back and forth.
Oh.
I casted it out. I reeled it back 3 foot from the boat. Wham! Pike on, baby. Pike on. And it was epic.
Nice.
It was perfect. I landed one that was 20
big.
some inch.
Oh, we didn't measure
30 some. We didn't get into it.
We just kept fishing.
Kept going.
Yeah.
And that's how the day went.
That was a big fish on that big lure. And I just remember, like, when is this going to happen for me? I'm normally not like that, but I was so fired up.
You were ready.
Yeah.
You were ready.
Yeah. You guys were just pulling out big fish. And these fish they're not okay. I have to, like, quantify this all the time because there's something special about New York when you're a Pennsylvania boy. The biggest fish that we catch around here are just those fish up there eat our fish, and they're not the biggest fish in the world. But
Next
to us
level.
they are.
Well,
they're just next level.
We don't have a lake near us or a body of water near us where you can consistently catch pike.
Yeah.
Our pike around us are the same as muskie. It's a 1 in 10,000 cast for a pike for us.
Sure.
Maybe that's different for other groups around us.
I think,
but for
Northwest
us,
and the boys in the East, they
right, but
they get their share.
But especially
of stuff.
for our
Central
group around
PA,
this table, we don't hit pike
No.
that often.
Uh-uh.
It's a once in 10,000 cast, just like a muskie. So to go up there and to have multiple pike in one day, and big ones and consistently,
it's madness.
It's awesome.
It is. It's an addicted drug. You just there's a certain part of your inside a man or a woman that it just you didn't know it was in there, and you just turn into like this lower pitching machine. Baseball players are envious.
And it's something catching those torpedoes. Those fish are just fun fish to go after. They're explosive.
When you catch one, now you have to deal with their teeth.
Yeah.
So it's like the action doesn't stop once you get one in the net. Like you have to negotiate.
That's where some of the action got worse for us.
But they also, like, if you watch your lure, they'll come swipe by it when it, like, the lure is not that far off the boat, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what was that?
Yeah, they were seeing. Those boys were seeing. I didn't see that one time.
That makes you like, oh wow.
One of the best pike that I caught that day. I was just ready to lift the lure out of the water. Like, I'm not doing the figure eights like you hear about guys doing with muskie, but we're talking the whole time, and everybody's having fun, and we're just jawing back and forth. And at one point, I'm just reeling it in, and as I can see the lure, I stop reeling and I turn my head and I'm talking to the guys at the boat. And as I go to lift the rod, it's just I see this shadow come up, whap, and it hits it, and I'm like, oh, fish on. Here we go.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So the other thing was, the catfish went right to topwater, and was fairly successful to start. And the only thing, so one of the biggest impressions I had was you have this situation where, like in turkey hunting, that you can hear a gobble and it's like, bow, 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 and you're like, that's a Jake. And then you hear this, blah, 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 and you're like, that's
that's the one.
Beard,
that's King Tut over there, and that's the long beard. And we had something similar with fish. So
They gobbled.
they gobbled. Like, no, Brian. No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
Brian.
They went gluk, 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 gluk.
No.
Have you ever fished before?
Have you?
I'm relatively new to fishing.
We had these fish start coming up and rolling. And two very distinct, like there was like, they come. I can't make the noise.
Yeah.
Well, then this one comes up and just, and it sounded like breaching whales.
Yeah.
It was incredible, and we all of us like stopped. We weren't fishing anymore.
Yeah.
It startled us. It was that big and that loud.
It wasn't a fish blowing up on top water. It was a fish that literally it came out of the water, completely laid itself flat and slapped the water 3 times as it hit. Like it was just pop, 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 pop.
It was like, it was just incredible. And it was like nothing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And it made such a noise that we just stopped fishing.
Caught your attention.
It sure did.
Dang.
So, to have, again, just have exposure to bigger fish is...
Well, then we went trolling. We trolled for a little while. We're like, bite's slowing down. Nobody's caught anything in 10 minutes.
Real quick before we troll.
Oh.
I picked out my pack of scared fishless, the 6-inch.
Yeah, you did.
The Diamondback?
The Diamondback, yeah. And it's just this big, gigantic worm with a little flat tail on the end of it.
That thing's
They're
got
pretty long.
And
serious action in the
I
water.
coined a new phrase, and I think you would love it, Deke. You would absolutely love it.
Well, hit me with it.
So I get this, just big, gigantic strike, and I ended up being a nice 4-pound largemouth, very solid 4-pound. And I was just so jacked up. The way I was fishing it was I threw it out, and then I'd lift it, and I'd let it sit, and I'd lift it, and I'd let it sit, jerk it like a little bit, but let it sit. And then finally this fish smashes it, and I'm like, I love this lure. I hate fishing this way, but I love catching fish.
Yeah, finesse fishing can be that way. You can hate it all at the same time.
I hate it, but I love catching fish.
That is funny. We talked about that the rest of the day.
Everyone else was like, reeling in
Power
swim
fishing,
baits,
yeah.
and that's what I like doing. Swim baits all day long, kayaks, blah blah blah. I love that stuff. But for some reason, I'm changing it up. I'm gonna catch a fish on this.
I hate fishing this way.
But
I love catching fish.
But I love catching. That was hilarious.
All of the methods, all of the lures that we're comfortable with, that we have the confidence in, like things were working. It's just they were working in spurts, because all of a sudden those little paddle tails that we're throwing, you stop getting bites. And we switch over to a Ned rake, and it's working. And you stop getting bites. So we kept rotating through this stuff.
Now, did one guy switch first, and then that person caught a fish on it, and then everybody else moved?
they're actually
Catfish and I flip back and forth. Ryan kind of marched to his own drummer boy.
Yeah,
he's relatively new to fishing. So.
Parumpa-pum-pum.
No, but there wasn't. I don't think there was really a situation where, hey, this is what's working, and everybody tied it on and started throwing it. Like we had a potpourri of lures flying
but
out
I
of that
started
boat.
using the X-Wraps. That's when I never used one before.
Yeah.
Catfish hooked me up with some. Go ahead, brother. Just whatever.
We got some. We did get some advice from the guy at the bait shop on Friday night when we pulled in, how we should fish for pike on Saturday. So he gave us some spots on the map that we should try to hit when we're trolling. He told us the speeds that they usually go. We bought a couple of big Rapalas, the 18s or something. Chartreuse or yellow, I mean, whichever color you want to call it. Big
electric yellow.
These big friggin' things. He's like, this is what we always use for trolling. And we had success trolling.
I think he just wanted to offload those.
Yeah, he probably
We're
couldn't
a
sell
couple
them.
boys out of town. He's just trying to offload some baits.
But we caught fish on the troll on those lures that we bought. I was most impressed with, I saw lures on Facebook that I thought, these are really cool. I should try to buy some.
I don't know. I never.
The commercial for those reminds me of the banjo lure. You know what I mean? The banjo minnow.
Banjo minnows. Okay.
Like that kind of aspect. But now we're in the Facebook realm of lure advertising.
Right. But I don't.
It caught me.
They caught you more than anything, because I think they're the ugliest things ever, and I would never buy.
But the action in the water is undeniable.
You wouldn't have known that until this week,
Well, no. In the ad,
that's what
they
I'm
show
saying.
some underwater footage and stuff, but to know for sure, the proof was in the pudding, and I was like, I'm going to buy 2 and see how it goes.
But the banjo lure too, they have underwater action. It looks great.
My point
they
is,
catch fish.
Did you buy any?
Yeah.
Everyone
And
catch
did.
anything?
didn't catch anything.
Well, then you fished it wrong.
Probably.
because
everything can
I
catch
saw
fish,
these,
and everything can't catch fish.
and I ordered 2 of them, and we caught fish on them.
It was incredible, and that was the point I was trying to get to. Was just he was hammering fish on these big, stupid, ugly, ridiculous looking.
What are those
So
called?
it's the headbanger lures.
Headbanger.
Yeah, if you go to Headbanger Lures and check them out, they've got cool little videos. I was using the
We have
6-inch.
zero association.
No,
with
not yet.
the-
I'm putting a call in,
You're
but
calling yeah. I mean,
because here's the thing, I bought 2 of them. They're both pretty beat up with teeth marks at this point, and I caught my first largemouth bass on a troll.
Huh.
With
like
one
a
of these.
tiny, like lots of hair, little troll.
Yeah.
the yellow.
The lucky troll.
Was it?
No, while trolling.
Trolling.
Okay.
And I don't.
I'm pretty sure you could get away with the gnome up there.
You know, Will. While trolling.
Maybe even a pixie.
Did you guys ever catch a largemouth trolling?
Yeah.
I never did. So that was
Actually,
pretty cool.
On the crawler harness.
On the banjo minnow.
No, on that, like the method I've been trying to catch a walleye with.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I can only catch white perch with. I caught a nice 18-inch largemouth last summer with it.
Yeah.
Well, that was pretty
that
cool.
was Will's crawler format though. Everything will catch. You'll catch everything on a night crawler.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But and Will can attest to
Bandra
this.
nightcrawler.
I never would have guessed that I was going to reel in a largemouth when I knew a fish hit this line that had this giant monstrosity on the end.
We're going 3 miles an hour, and
when you're going that speed and you hook up with a fish, when you reel them in,
Feels really big.
they are
geez.
massive.
Yeah.
So as I'm reeling this thing in, I'm like, I can't wait to see this monster pike.
ground shrinkage.
Bloop! Out pops this. Out pops this dink.
Same thing happened. to me.
Largemouth, and I was like, what? But I was still pretty ecstatic. I'm like, I just caught a largemouth on a troll with this giant thing.
Was the lure like 3/4 the size of the fish?
Easily, yeah, if not half. Yeah, it was
Nice.
That guy was hungry or mad, whatever he did, but he hit it.
Doesn't matter. You
and
got
he
him in the
hung
boat.
on. Yeah, and then we caught a couple pike on the troll.
Yeah.
We did good.
That's awesome.
It was, and I went back and I looked at. I was kind of describing to R2 mom what happened last week. Bless her heart, she needs some visuals. So I kind of screenshotted some stuff for her, and I was drawn out, and I realized we covered pert near most of the bay.
Oh yeah,
like we
Well, I
covered.
looked at that. Like Catfish sent a picture of that GPS,
Yeah,
and it is lines all over that.
yeah.
the
I didn't
bay.
realize that.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
guys,
just
you
wouldn't
guys,
know.
you guys found every cove, everything.
We covered ground.
That's
Well,
great.
We weren't fishing like everybody else. There was a bunch of boats that were just zipping across the bay. They were hitting spots, going one spot to another spot, and none of it made sense or had any reason. They were just ripping across the bay, and then they're coming back towards us, and then they're going back. They're going to the south side. That
was something that we
I don't know what they were doing.
We talked about that a couple of times, Catfish and I, and it's like these guys are they're spot fishing. Like they've got maybe some waypoints marked on their electronics, and they fly up on a spot, they cast 4 or 5 times,
Bam.
and they pack up and they move to another spot. And we're fishing to fish. These guys were fishing to, I don't know if they're pre-fishing a tournament or what they might be doing, but we're fishing to fish, where these guys are they're hitting a spot. They're surgical in it, but they're spending no time there. And the other thing I noticed, nobody fishes docks. Like PEA boys fish docks. You know what I mean? We spent hours.
May it's like a code of like, may there are other homeowners that have docks and they don't want other people to fish their docks.
Tough.
I'm just saying. Like I don't care. I'd
Then
fish
you should
anywhere.
get a house on a private lake.
Yeah.
Rocks, docks, and stumps.
Yep. Cold
Rocks,
front.
docks, and stumps. Perfect.
Do you see any like the big boys? Because last year when we were up, there was like a tournament, and we saw that guy who was decked out in a kayak
There's
boat.
kayak
Kayak
boat.
Yeah.
boats.
There's bass trackers everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
But
we
no,
didn't
but no
see
big tournaments.
No,
No
no.
pre-fishing anything.
But there were guys with boats that were expensive like those boats. Yeah.
Epic weekend.
I'd
And
say. That
sounds
I'm not
great.
gonna slow roll it. You know, when
Try
we got
not
up,
to.
when we got up Sunday, yeah, we're at time already. Sorry, but when we got up on Sunday, we were like, you know, we're not just gonna just head home. Let's give it a couple hours on Sunday, and it was, you know, rinse and repeat. Just a lot of the same thing over and over again. We didn't catch any toothy critters, although I would argue, based on my bass thumb, that those bass were some
bass.
toothy critters.
Tell me about it, Mike Tyson.
They
Can you draw me a bath?
I need a math.
Those bass
4-inch
had
bass.
some serious teeth on them.
They
Like,
were serious.
I had
They
lacerations.
Yeah.
We tried a couple things, and the wind shifted. It was different. That cove, the reason that we ended up in that cove the first year was because the way the wind was blowing, that was the only place to get out of the wind. But in this particular morning, the wind's blowing right into that cove. So we fished the whole opposite side of the lake. We learned a lot, too, because the bottom of that side of the lake is all sand.
Oh,
You know, versus weeds and rocks.
Right.
You know, so we're learning new
Tons.
stuff all the time.
That's
anyway,
awesome.
we ended the day back in one of the streams that feed into the bay, into some lily pads.
Topwater frog.
Topwater, hollow-bodied frogs in the lily pads. You know, for no reason. The water's too cold. Why would they be there? But boom,
Bam.
and boom, and boom. If we weren't catching bass on the topwater.
They were
Nice.
rolling.
Love me
Yeah.
some top water.
I didn't have a frog like they had, so I whipped out my 6-inch worm again and
Hey, now it's a family show, bud.
ended up catching one right off.
Yeah, you did.
Topwater.
No, weedless worm.
Oh,
Yeah, because, I mean, bouncing that worm like that through the lilies,
Yeah.
they were in there. Just got to get
Hitting
close
it up.
enough and make
boy, it
them
looked
wanna
like an
come out
epic
and get it.
trip.
Oh,
I
it
was
was
definitely
great.
jealous the entire time, especially I was like
Slighted to go.
I was 50% jealous on Friday with the big bass.
Yeah.
But I was like holding out. I was like, you know, I feel good. They didn't really hit any pike, you know, and that's where I really wanted to go after. And then Saturday, I'm just like throwing my phone every time you guys send a picture of a monster
Flipping
pike.
tables.
Flipping tables. Be like, ah.
Yeah, and that was done with
Did you
intent.
dial the number to like a lawyer?
Yeah.
You dialed, but then you hung out.
It was with intent though. Like we avoided the pike on Friday because we wanted Mr. Will to be with us.
Nice.
When we started blowing up on them. So
I
it
wouldn't have
worked out.
waited. I would have just went after him Friday.
We know.
I have to say this before we end this. I got there late Friday night
You did.
and Saturday morning, so that I didn't know if I was going to make it the whole way because I had a really rough week, and I planned on staying somewhere, but ended up making it the whole way, and they had a nice bed. The place we were at had 3 beds,
Yeah.
and the couch pulled out.
Nice.
It was very comfortable and inexpensive. And long story short, in the morning, Catfish gets up. He's the first one up. He gets showers and does catfish things, and
Brushed out his beard.
whatever he does.
The Roman helmet.
Yeah.
And
He thought he did actually make the comment at one point, like, thought I would have woke you guys up sooner because I was blow drying my beard.
I missed that one because I was pretty sleepy. The thing that got me like
Oh,
going the most
I
was
know where we're going with this.
I looked up. Well, I got startled by Catfish, and then I went back to sleep. And I glanced over, Ryan's still sleeping. Then the next time I got startled, I looked up, and Ryan is standing by his bed, completely dressed, like ready to go. I'm, in my boy shorts. I honestly don't have nothing ready. Like I'm not, but Ryan looks like he's been, had breakfast and
Up for hours, ready to roll.
Yeah, reading the Wall Street Journal or something. Apparently, I found out he sleeps in his clothes, and I didn't know that. So he can just jump up and be ready to go. He
aren't you warm while you sleep?
And restrict.
That's why I don't bother getting under the covers.
There's no covers, nothing.
Why would I mess around with that?
Good on you, bud, but that's strange.
I get everything ready the night before, and I'm pretty much going to put on now, before I fall asleep, I'm going to just put on what I'm going to wear tomorrow.
It's incredible. He was...
All you got to do is grab a jacket,
It's like
slide my
Superman.
feet into my boots.
Superman in a telephone booth.
So, I mean, in Will's defense, he's thinking, oh, yeah, Ryan's still in bed laying down.
Literally. I'm like, I have so much time. He's sleeping too. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
And once I heard him roll around, I was like, all right, time to get up. And within about 25 seconds, I went from laying down asleep to, hey, come on, let's go.
What you waiting for?
So I was behind the 8 ball. That startled me more than Catfish.
I was the last one officially awake, but
The first one
there,
ready.
but there I was at the door with Catfish going, I don't know what's taking him so long. I've been ready for a while.
Oh, and that's probably winding Catfish up a little bit too.
No, he was fine. No, because he was up and doing Catfish things.
Yeah,
but
he's surgical with his. I don't know. He's not challenged. He can't be challenged by like gravity, warm blankets, like things that keep you in bed. Raining outside. It doesn't. His mind is so made up and so ready that he might have a process like the beard prep and the boot polish and whatever he does. Catfish, his routine does he is able to transition from a whatever level of sleep he gets into, or maybe it's like tantric, mental, whatever. Whatever he does, he's able just to transition, and then next he's on his boat,
an outdoor
or he's in the
cyborg.
woods.
Yeah. Outdoor cyborg.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know what that's like. I need coffee. I need
And there I was, Will thinking I was his buffer. In an instant.
Boy, was he wrong?
Couldn't have been more wrong.
Ryan stood up. Let's go.
Now he got his Diet Pepsi and was like, I'm going to have my breakfast. We're good.
That's pretty much it.
Diet Pepsi.
I
get that cotton mouth.
I told Will that I got you some coffee from the bait shop. The hot water's here. I poured the water into the back of the coffee maker. Like, all we got to do is flip the switch, turn this thing on. So I'm like, hey, we're good to go, bud. But I'm ready.
They're already waiting. Yeah,
He's opening his second Diet Pepsi.
It was
He's ready.
stupid. Yeah. Anyway, it's cool when we get the. You'd think we know this stuff about each other by now, but we don't. It was cool.
That sounded like you guys had an awesome trip.
Yeah, definitely a good time. Already looking forward to it for next year. I'm thinking at this rate, we're probably taking more than one boat, because I think more people are going to want to be involved next year.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
We were waiting for you to paddle out in the middle of the lake.
Oh, there was a kayak we saw at one point.
Was there?
I honest to God thought
I forgot about that.
It was R2's kayak. It
With
was
7 rods in all the holders.
It was a white and green kayak, and I said at one point,
You did.
out of one of these coves, Pick's gonna be like, "Hey guys, what took you so long?
Where you been?" Love it. So that's all we had going on.
Not much.
It's a good week.
Not much.
Yeah, not much.
Good week.
Listen, we are wrapping up Turkey Mayhem
with
the
bass and pike."
But anybody who's still listening to us in PA, you probably got a couple hours left. Get a chance. get the turkeys, share the pictures out, and make sure that you tag us in them so that we can see them and maybe live vicariously through you. But
Yeah, be a part of our story.
talk to us. We're going to be transitioning over to some Bass-Tastic June.
Yeah.
It's going to be a thing of beauty. But don't forget, this episode is brought to you in part by Smokin' the Grove Barbecue Festival.
Smoking the Grove.
That's being held July 26th and 27th in Spring Grove, Pennsylvania. For more information, head over to smokingthegrove.com.
Smokingthegrove.com.
Love me them burn ends. And it's also brought to you in part by Moses Family Jerky.
Get out of town.
Oh, yeah. Get 15% off your next order by heading over to mfjerky.com. Make sure you use that promo code JerkyPursuits15. Hey, Bucky,
Yeah.
where can they find us?
Alrighty, follow us on all the social medias at Rutten River Pursuits Podcast. You can find us on the internet at RuttenRiverPursuits.com. Don't forget to follow us all as individuals.
Do that. It's fun.
You can also download the podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify. And iHeartRadio.
I do heart radio. I'm just going to say, I do. Well, I believe we did this one a little bit of justice.
Fellas, it's been great.
Good episode,
Yeah.
boys. Talk to y'all soon. Get that turkey.
Glue, 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 glue.
Go catch some bass.
Rigor Weedless.
And in our tournament, we have a no dinks rule where everything that has to be.
Sorry.
Bunch of elitists.
Yeah.
Well, it's just the format of our tournament.
Oh,
14
You
inch
might want to
minimum.
find another tournament. But
I could see you guys.
What's he doing? Is he
taking
thinking
the
about it? Or you
competition.
still need a partner? Or what?
As of now, I still need a partner. I think by next week, I'm going to open it up to somebody who wants to be my partner. I'll give Stevie the courtesy of next week.
Oh yeah, he's on vacation, so you gotta
And then he's
give him
on
a chance.
vacation again. He's like Forrest Gump's dad.
Yeah.
On vacation. I love this lure. I hate fishing this way, but I love catching fish.
Yeah, finesse fishing can be that way. You can hate it all at the same time.
I hate it. I hate it, but I love catching fish.